Hi there, it's time for the weekly video, and I'm trying to use the sunlight effect to make me look slightly like a ghost this week. I think that might be nice if you're worried about me fading away. I haven't gone back in time and accidentally stopped my parents' meeting. It is just the effect of British summer. I think it's coming close enough to summer now. Anyway, still no major posts this week, no major movies, nothing that springs to mind for something to show and discuss, a little bit of show and tell, nothing for that. For the podcast this week, we are doing the Udo Kier special, so Dave has picked Blood for Dracula, Tyler has picked the story of O, and I picked the New Adventures of Pinocchio, or is it the Further Adventures of Pinocchio? Whatever the title is, it's a trip. So you can find that in a number of places if you want to play along and torture yourself. That'll be a fun conversation. Although I didn't get any movies this week, I did make a little trip out and I bought some stuff. This is in no way any kind of sponsorship, but I went to this place, Just the Sound. I'm not sure if that will show up the right way around on the video. I assume it does. I hope it does. Anyway, I popped in there and it's one of those shops that you go into, you immediately know they don't take card. It's cash only. Everything was arranged sort of, I would say, similar to my cinema room, apart from there was a complete lack of order. And I say that despite the owner telling me that things were grouped into genre. So you had blues, soul, a little bit of disco, rock pop, a lot of rock, some soundtracks. That was it. It was really interesting. It was an experience I wanted to share in this week's video because it was a reminder that, you know, the best thing about algorithms is finding a way to break them and not use them or not rely on them. The best movie recommendations can come from your friends online who know your taste. The best shopping experiences come from times when you meet someone in a store and may spend half an hour chatting about the past few years of your life while you're browsing records and just dealing with this person on a one-on-one basis and knowing somehow in your brain that, well, I can't leave now without buying anything. So that's part of the gig. But also knowing that, well, if this is a bit pricier than where I might have found it elsewhere, I've enjoyed this experience more, so I will pay an extra couple of pounds. Not that things were pricey, and I'm going to show you what I got, but I got a few albums and I got a little discount on them. It was just very nice. It was a reminder to, you know, I, as much as anyone, maybe more so, do like the idea of interacting without having to have human contact sometimes. Whether it's shopping, whether it's ordering food, you know, out and about. Like I kind of liked when we were coming out of lockdown and you still had the apps where you could order from the bar and get table service and do all that. So there are lots of times when I'm happy with that. That's me, good. But there are times, like last week reminded me, when I like to meet someone and chat to them. I haven't done that in a movie store for a while. Can't remember the last time I was in HMV or FOP or somewhere like that. So to do it in a record store was nice, a little bit different because I'm more out of my depth with records than I am with movies. My taste seems very basic, and I'm just putting together a little selection so we can always have stuff to play on the player that I picked up recently. Anyway, let's go here. I saw a lot of things that made me nostalgic. Made me nostalgic either for albums or records that I owned, or albums and records that sort of my parents owned, or older cousins, or just people who were in my life. So this is going to explain some of them. But £5 for this. It's the American Graffiti soundtrack. Lots of rock and roll tracks on there. I know you won't be able to read them, but it is the stuff like Rock Around the Clock, which is on there. 16 Candles, Runaway by Del Shannon, which I love. At the Hop, and She's So Fine by Flash Cadillac. I don't know if that's a band doing a cover maybe for the album. Surfing Safari by the Beach Boys. There's some Chuck Berry on there. The Big Bopper, Chantilly Lace. I love this album, and it's a superb jukebox soundtrack album, like superb. So £5, total bargain. Thinking I would keep a certain someone happy, I picked up more Dirty Dancing. So, you know, the hits of Dirty Dancing were on the Dirty Dancing album, and then they brought out more Dirty Dancing. This was £10. There are quite a few musical interludes on here. I don't know why I'm going to dance to the merengue or Johnny's Mambo. I'm no Swayze, but I'll give it a go. But, you know, Do You Love Me? Love Man by Otis Redding is on there. These Arms of Mine by Otis Redding. Wipe Out by the Sapphires. I love that. Good stuff. What have we got here? Dee dee, dee dee dee, dee doo 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 doo. That is the closest you'll get to karaoke from me today, anyway. Yeah, Thriller. It's a banger of an album. So I picked it up. £15. Oh, we're moving into some really interesting stuff now. £7.50 for 2001 A Space Odyssey, which obviously has the famous track that I can't pronounce properly. Also Sprach Zarathustra, up 30. It has the Blue Danube, has other things on there, and yeah, I was really pleased to get that. I'm going to put that on very loud one day and probably upset the neighbours. Paris, Texas, a beautiful soundtrack by Ry Cooder. Basically, there are a few, I think there are 3 musicians credited, but it's Ry Cooder that everyone associates with Paris, Texas. The slide guitar, it's gorgeous. I rewatched the film, was it 2 or 3 months ago? It's a great film, a very slow paced, but very very moving, very bittersweet, and always, I think, a bit darker than I remember. But the main thing you always remember from it is the music, that score, and I was delighted to get it. I have forgotten already how much it was. Oh, £7.50 again. And this was the priciest one I bought, £17.50. All of these bought together, I then got a discount on after chatting to the guy. It was very nice. But Breaking Glass soundtrack, Hazel O'Connor. The big hit on there is Will You, which is a great, just a great song. But my favourite is Eighth Day, which, if you've seen any clip from Breaking Glass, it will either be Eighth Day, or it may just be an edited selection of clips set to any of the other tunes. But Eighth Day is the one that sticks in the memory more. And I've got this because, well, I don't think we've had a decent disc release of Breaking Glass yet. I'm talking about the movie. And I have fond memories of seeing the movie when I was young. I think it's certainly an interesting enough film to warrant a nice souped up release at some point. And I hope one of the boutique labels sees it, whether it's a music rights issue, whether it's an issue with the elements to get a nice shiny clean print that people will want. I don't know, but Hazel O'Connor is great on screen. I think the soundtrack, obviously, is really good, and yeah, it's a fantastic film. I seem to remember, and maybe this is my memory being muddled up, but there was That'll Be the Day and Stardust as well, and I think they kind of came out at the same time. There were these tales of reaching for the sun as a rock god and maybe getting your wings burnt. Those films had David Essex in them. Adam Faith was in one or two of them. This one has Hazel O'Connor. They're all in my mind, buried away somewhere as a fond memory. And although part of me is hesitant to want to revisit them because of how they might have aged, another part of me would love to see those get good treatment. The sort of treatment that, I would say lesser films have received over the past few years, because this is a time where companies are digging out gems and revitalising things that you'd forgotten about from long ago. So that would be nice. Anyway, that was it. A lot of vinyl. I thought I would chat to you about interacting with humans in a store, and I am expecting some posts this week that should be fun to discuss next week. Are they films I have seen? No, they are not. But one set certainly comes from a director that I've appreciated for many years and will enjoy exploring more of his filmography and mentioning to you, whoever chooses to watch. That's it. Until next week.